Hello everyone, I'm Prussian Prince with an Untitled Warhammer 2 tournament match cast. This is the Master of Lizardmen tournament hosted by the Viking TW. Now, of course, in this tournament, basically, what happens is that the winner gets to... the winner of this tournament actually gets to play in the eventual playoff stage with as the Lizardman in this scenario, but there's a master of any faction, like Master of Bretonia, Master of High Elves, and Master of Skaven, so on and so forth. Not just Lizardman, obviously. So, basically, if I win this tournament, or whoever wins this tournament, is able to advance to the playoffs as the Lizardman, just to keep things short. Now, anyway, this is round 1. I'm playing against Malverde here. And I'm in command of the Lizardman. So he is in command of Chaos. Now, one quick thing, actually, is I broke the rules in this particular game, but was decided that was okay. So anyway, let's get... I broke the rules in terms of army composition. I missed a rule. Anyway, let's go over the compositions here. I'll start with my build. So, I have, of course, Lord Mazdamundi on Zlak with Ruination of Cities, Banishment, Shield of the Old Ones, Apotheosis, Harmonic Convergence, Net of Amantok. We also have Sunbird Standard of Hexoatl and Greater Arcane Conduit. Okay. In terms of flyers, we have 2 Pterodon riders. One of them is the Bahawk's Sentinels. We also have a Bastillodon with a solar engine, and of course the myth, the legend itself. This is the Dread Saurian. A big thing here to keep in mind is that this is actually where I broke the rules, because bringing a Dread Saurian with Mazdamundi on Slack is too much, because I believe you cannot have 2 rare single entities above 2100, and of course the mount counts for Mazdamundi's luck would be a rare single entity. So basically, that's how I broke the rules. But anyway, let's get things going. So I also have a single unit of Skinko Javelins. Actually, make that 2. Looks like 3 Saurus Warriors with shields, 2 of them with 1 Chevron. Now for Chaos, you can already see 3 of these Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes doing work. The Bahawk Sentinels here. We have Feral Manticore, Chaos Feral Manticore, Silver 3. That is pretty interesting. We also have a Chaos Sorcerer of Death, also on a Manticore. We have Doom and Darkness and Spirit Leech. Now, for the rest of the army, we do have unit of Chaos Warhounds with poison all the way over there. Infantry contingent of, looks like 4 Chaos Marauders. And then some stronger infantry in the back, 3 chosen with halberds. We also have all the way in the back Sartorial the Eva Watcha with Arcane Conduit, Plague of Rust, Searing Doom, so some very important stuff there. Now let's get this on the road as we hit play. See what happens. Okay, so we already have these Pterodons trying to do annoying stuff. And actually doing quite a bit of damage to this Sorcerer of Death. Also, Feral Manticore taking some damage here. The Bastillodon is actually targeting the Skirmish Cav, which is a good target. Also, I'm trying to send the Bahawk Sentinels in to attack the Halberds, but because of their armor, I don't believe that they will do as much, so they should have actually just dropped on Marauders or something, even though it seems a bit counterintuitive. It's actually a really good dodge here, though. So here we also dropped, and it didn't do much damage, so it's not really worth it at this point. I mean, it's over 1k, but still. And here we have the engagement. Chaos Marauders a little bit too far forward, so they're going to get hit by Mazdamundi and the Dread Saurian, so they're going to go off the field there very quickly. Let's have the Dread Saurian shooting into the flank of these Chaos Marauders, which is a great target if they can actually hit them. Now there's gonna be a banishment here, which I believe I don't notice. Or it's not a... it's Searing Doom, my bad. I do end up moving at some point. They take some damage, which is unnecessary. And there's an engagement over here. Again, Mazda Mundi and the Dread Saurian are doing work here onto these Chaos Marauders. There's a banishment here I misclick. Now the engagement here is great because the Chaos Sorcerer is going down. And even though I misclick the banishment, it ends up doing crippling amounts of damage to this Chaos Marauder and goes directly, exactly the right way. I saw sort of death going all the way over there. Here comes the part where it's a little bit more difficult, and yes, I pop shielded the old ones here. The issue is that, you know, the Dread Saurian is stuck here onto Unit of Chosen. It doesn't have support here, so it's really taking massive damage. There's a Runation I popped here, but it didn't do super great, I believe. Did it? Yeah, now there's Shield of the Old Ones is gone. Sentinels that are here, but still on the Solar Engine, getting attacked by Sartorial, which is a good move. Frail Manticore is actually, looks like to be engaging the Skinko with Javelins. We're out of ammo. Chaos Sorcerer of Death coming back, some of these Sentinels coming back too. Now here there's a big moment, which is Sartorial is going to get engaged here. With Mazda Mundi, on Solar Engine, I pop Harmonic Convergence here. I probably should have popped on to the Dread Saurian, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's good either way. So here Sartorial is really getting hit pretty hard. Of course, because I'm focusing so much on Sartorial, the rest of my army seems to be getting killed off. There's an Apotheosis onto the Dread Saurian here. Or Sartorial is taking massive damage here with 1400 HP. But so is the Dread Saurian's under Plague of Rust, and that's it's gonna take a lot of damage. But that was a huge hit from the Dread Saurian, and 700 HP onto Sartorial isn't gonna be looking so good for much longer. And there he goes. He goes down. And at this point, that is a huge swing in favor of Lizards. Sorcerer of Death is still around, but at this point, you know, there's not much left that can take out all these lizard units. So it's a great situation for the lizards here. Of course, there are some marauders and other units on the field, which make it a little bit tougher, but I mean, specifically the halberds here will be the issue, but you can see the balance of power here. And of course, another Shield of the Old Ones. The halberds, but again the lizards here, and there's also a banishment hitting all these units. Yep. And now everything is routing. Also have a net of Ammontok onto that unit. There was going to be another ruination, but that is going to be it for this game. Looking at statistics, you can see Mazda obviously value gains. King Chief not really, but still not enough. Isaurus didn't really do it either, but, you know, they held. Japanese did fine, Dread Saurian still didn't pay for itself, but it definitely did the work. Actually, the Pterodons and Hawk Sentinels barely got their value. Hawks didn't, because they're 800. Now for Malverde, who's again from BBB, I think I forgot to mention it. Sartorial just got whacked around, so not much value for him. Chaos Sorcerer had issues as well. Marauders wouldn't expect them to do well, especially as I believe at least 2 got munched on by Mazda Mundi and the Dread Saurian here. Also have the Chosen with Halberds. These are the units that could have carried technically. And yeah, the Marauder Horseman with throwing axes here could have done a lot. And the court didn't pay for itself either, especially because it's silver 3. That's game 1, so now I'm on match point. Let's take a look at game 2. So here we are with game 2 on Swamp of Terror. I'm playing as Bretonia, and Malverde is in command of the Lizardmen. Now, if I didn't explain it in the first game, and I apologize, I didn't actually explain it. The person doing the picking for each specific game has to pick lizards, essentially. And the other player can counterpick with whatever they want. You can play lizards multiple times, but the other factions you can't. So there you go. Alright, so, but you cannot counterpick with the lizards, I believe. I'm not sure. So, but you have to first pick them at any opportunity. Okay, so time to go slow motion and look at this. So basically, Malverde actually picked Lizardmen, and I did counterpick with Bretonia because I wanted to test something out, and I felt that, you know, maybe I could win this with the specific build I had in mind to try. So, I'm gonna go over my build, and as you can see, it's already spread out. So basically I have 4 trebuchets, I have a bunch of peasant bowmen as well. I believe 2 are pox arrows and the rest are, yeah, 2 pox arrows and the rest are regular peasant bowmen. Up front we see 5 of these peasant mob, you know, a peasant mob for a peasant bowman unit. Again, the 4 trebs. We have 3 cavalry units in total, that is 2 questing knights, and a single unit of, you know, the companions of Canal, so technically 3 questing knights. Look at these units. Super cool stuff. And also the regular questing knights are pretty cool too. But, okay, so where do we have to look at next? Okay, the single entities. So, this time around we have Luan Leoncoeur. On the Bakui, we have Sword of Corone, Lion's Shield, Stand Your Ground, Beloved Son of Bretonia, and the Ladies' Champion. We also have a Damsel of Life on the field here, with Scroll of Shielding, Earthblood, Awakening of the Wood, Life Bloom, and Aura of the Lady. For other units, I don't think there's anything else. Of course, we do have a chevron on a unit of Questing Knights because I had extra money. Now for the Lizardmen, you can already see that they have 3 Therodon Riders up front. Make that actually 4. Well, actually, technically, this is the Ripperdactyl Rider unit. Actually, this is an ROR. It has like Toad Rage and other stuff. So that's pretty important. That's quite the heavy air force from the Lizards. You would kind of expect something like this from the Lizards against Bretonia, though. Therodon Rider's pretty good against Peasant Bowman. Anyway, for the rest of the Lizard army, it's boxing up pretty well here. This is typical in this matchup, and it's very strong. So we do have a bunch of Saurus Spears with shields. That is 3 Saurus Spears with shields. We also have a Star Chamber Star Chamber Guardians unit, and of course the regular Temple Guards. And this unit right here is very good. It has Guardian as well, which is huge. So yeah, but look at this unit. It looks pretty cool. Just some cool looking lizards. Of course, these Temple Guards here are strong too, but they don't really look nearly as cool as these ones. Let's be honest. Now for the actual single entities, we have 2 solar engines. Bastiladons with solar engines, but I call them solar engines because it's easy to say that. We also have a Slant Mage Priest of Life, interestingly enough, not high and not Mazdamundi. I can see why you would pick it. We have Banishment, Shield of the Old Ones, Regrowth, Earthblood, Cold Blood, Greater Arcane Conduit, and a Life of Bloom. And let's get the show on the road. So the idea here is, oh, there's already engagements happening. You can see Luan taking care of some Pterodons, Peasant Bowman firing away at other Pterodons. So at this point the engagement's going pretty well for myself. But right now Lizardmen have to advance, obviously, because I have trebuchets. And there's actually a pretty decent position here where you can place some archers or whatever, because then you cannot really shoot through here as the Lizardmen, so that's important. Of course, Trebs are now in range, so they're going to be targeting all these juicy lizard spears. Now here we see Luan just pushing off that unit of Pterodons. Should actually be chasing it at this point, but they're getting shot pretty heavily. Of course, this unit of Pterodons will go down to a single unit of Questing Knights because it decided to go down onto the Trebuchet unit. Now the Ripperdactyl here is being chased by King Luan. So I wonder if it will come back, because it does have negative leadership. Oh, these Pterodons also taken massive damage here, so we'll see if they start falling. They're definitely pretty low right now, but they have not started falling. Of course, the Trebuchet is already doing work here. We'll see if those get targeted. Ripperdactyls here taking some damage. One of them going down to Luan. Peasant Bowman still firing away at Pterodons here, so they're starting to fall actually. 6 of them left. There's more firing over here, and of course the Bastillons here have a hard time targeting because of the angling here. Of course, the trebuchets are already starting to target the Star Chamber Guardians as well. The Therodon is going down. Now there's a problem because the trebuchets are actually in range of the Bastillon. So that is the problem. No, yes, because the Bastillons can now target down this particular unit of trebs. The thing here is that, yeah, the good thing is with Luan you can chase off these Therodons very, very nicely. This unit of trebuchets here might be in trouble, so I'm moving around this questing knight to try and do something about it. The unit of Star Chamber Guardian is already going down heavily, and I'm also shooting the rear a bit with this Peasant Bowman unit. So it is facing the wrong way, which probably, I mean, I didn't realize for a while, but still the Treb volleys are being massive right now. Now this is a very strange formation from the Trebs. I don't know why they switched to that formation instead of the regular line formation. This also makes them, I'd say, more susceptible to like Still on Fire. Now there's gonna be a good banishment here, which I don't actually respond to because I'm busy microing, I suppose, Luan or the Cap there. Threadrons do go off, and at this point, oh yeah, there's still the Colossus Hunters. But anyway, right now I do pop the Sword of Corone, which is useful because this is actually going to drop the armor on the Star Chamber Guardians, so they're going to take a lot more damage from Peasant Bowman Fire. Because there's nothing in the air, I don't really need to care about it. So yeah, it's a good shield of the old ones popped here, but the Peasant Bowman will actually do a lot more damage to the Star Chamber Guardians with Sword of Corone pop. The Predactyl's still over here, so this is problematic for sure. And that hit takes out the last field trebuchet there, and that is huge. Sword of Corone still popped here, and that definitely did a lot. There's, however, big Earthblood cast here. Another hit onto this Treb, and does take it out. But still lots of work done to this Star Chamber Guardian unit. Trebuchet here being attacked by Colossadon Hunters, and the response is pretty immediate from me, which is good. They should be hopefully going down, and yeah, one Treb for the Colossadon Hunters. I guess I'll take that trade. And here you see the issue with these solar engines here, because of their deployment, they're not gonna like here, so these take quite a bit of damage to the Awakening of the Wood because they're in a very blocky formation. And very interestingly enough, after the Awakening of the Wood, they never reorganized. So yeah, that's probably will explain some things. There's gonna be a big heal here and upgraded Earthblood. Solar engines here are still... This is why you need to be careful with the rain when using solar engines, because they could be wasting so many shots, and I saw them waste at least a few here. Now the Star Chamber Guardians here, they're still not down. They need to go down because of the Guardian. It's imperative that they go down because it's really gonna help the single entities. You only really need like one entity in the unit for the Guardian buff to actually apply, which I know, honestly, it's a little bit stupid, but that is how the mechanics work, so that's how I have to deal with it. It should be changed because it really makes no sense that one entity provides the buff. Maybe you need like 10% of the unit or something. Like they have for the Loons, for instance. If there's like one guy in the entire Loons unit, it's not gonna work so well. Now there's a banishment here, and again it hits the Peasant Bowman. But the one is chasing off the Star Chamber Guardians here, so I have to change what that is. And there's another blood here, which is going to help, of course. Peasant Bowman firing at them. And poor Peasant Mob here, you know, dying to what is banishment. But that's not really value on the banishment. And here, yeah, all the Trebs are gone at this point, so that's not great for, well, over there. But there's still unit of Trebs here, which is firing at something. Now, of course, Luan is still taking out the Star Chamber Guardians, which they shouldn't be targeted anymore by the artillery. That's pretty weird. This should be changing right now because, for example, targeting this unit would be huge. I believe, yeah, finally changed the targeting. Now, some Peasant Mob are being sent in to slow down the Sora Spears, so the Peasant Bowmen can keep firing, and the trebuchets as well, and the cavalry can get into position here. I was a bit hesitant to move in the cavalry because of the solar engines that could do a lot of damage. Now this is a great position because the Peasant Bowmen here can shoot Solar Spears in the rear. There's another Awakening of the Wood, which I suppose did some damage, but now here we see the companions of Canel and Luan coming in to charge the rear of these Solar Spears here. So with Questy Knights coming in as well. Companions coming in for a charge here, but then they actually turn around. They just keep the Solar Engines busy, and then they go straight for the Solar Spears here. So this unit should be going down soon, but yeah, it's not really going down that fast. Here we see, of course, Sword of Garone popped. There's a decent hit on the companions there, so they take some damage, but here this unit is actually still alive, finally broken. And it's gonna go down. Now the cav here has to disengage and take care of the other units. There's not much that the lizards can do at this point, and that is GG. Look at this Solar Engine shot right at the end over there. That's actually pretty cool. But yes, that is the game. So check it out. Let's see the statistics. Luan didn't get much value, but he didn't need to. Peasant mob, they actually paid for themselves almost. Of course, the peasant bowmen, massive value on them, as you'd expect. So they're firing at the very important target. Target's Questy Knights did fine because it's not like they died, so especially this one already paid for itself, but even though they didn't have to fight much, the Trebs did, well, one of them did amazing, but the others not so much. Now for Malverde, Life Mage, surprisingly decent job considering the Solar Spears, Temple Guards, and this unit exactly 0 value as you'd expect. This one almost 0, so Riperdactyls not much value. These Pterodons either. Solar Engines were the one that, as usual, you know, it's pretty hard to get rid of these, and they will get value most of the time. But that's gonna be me moving forward to the next round in this tournament. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Follow me on social media. See you all next time.